What's going on, guys? Pdaaaawg here, and I figured to make this video a little bit special. I'm going to give a full-on review on Call of Duty Black Ops 2, and I figured that rather than just having another audio-only video where I ramble on, I figured I might as well show you something. So I'm going to show you my best run of zombies so far. I got to wave 29 in it, so it wasn't too bad. Like, for someone who doesn't really play zombies that much, it's a novice on it. So I'm probably just going to skip through some of the more boring parts because the clip is pretty long and I want to try and condense this to about 50 minutes. This is about 20 minutes more, so I'm probably going to skip quite a lot of it. So anyway, I'm going to give a review on Black Ops 2, reviewing the three elements of it, which is the campaign, multiplayer and zombies, which is what it says very boldly in the on the back of the screen. Not back of the screen, back of the box for the game. So I'm probably going to start off with campaign now. I'll give you a little bit of a history with my Black Ops. I'm going to skip this part because these parts are pretty boring. But in Black Ops 1, I wasn't really a fan of it. The campaign I thought was a bit odd, but at the same time I was quite a fanboy for Black Ops, for Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2 is one of my favourite games at that time, but maybe it's just because I was biased because that was the first-person shooter game I had gotten for the Xbox 360. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm going to start from here. So I really did enjoy that game. So playing Black Ops 1 was a bit of a disappointment for myself, just for me though. The multiplayer I felt was pretty odd, like some of the changes that they made to it. At the same time, I'd never played World at War. I do have Call of Duty 3, which was a lot. Did Pdaaaawg make Call of Duty 3? I don't know, but I do have Call of Duty 1, 2 and 3 for the PS2, and I have Call of Duty 4. I had it on the PS3, but I didn't play that much, and now I have it on the Xbox, and I'm playing it a little bit. Never even played World at War, so I've never played the original zombies, so to speak. And I almost got downed, wow. So I have played that, and I haven't played that even. Modern Warfare 2, I spent I'm about 8th prestige in it, but I spent a lot of time on that game though. Like, I dedicated myself to it. I don't really even know why. I just did, just because I did. So I did that, and then Black Ops 1 I didn't play, and I was listening to the music here by the way, that's why I was sitting beside that. Black Ops 1, bit of a disappointment for me. Zombies I thought was pretty cool. Only thing is, I think I mentioned this in my other zombie videos I made. I didn't have that many friends to play zombies with, so I was just playing a solo for the most part. And that was the element I didn't really like about it. I was just kind of like, solo zombies, and I didn't really like it. And I didn't really like the fact that there's only 2 maps. Despite the fact that there's pretty much like 3 maps for survival in this case, but it does have a new game mode. And well, actually it has 2 new game modes, Grieving and Transit. Modern Warfare 3 I quite enjoyed as well. Well, I enjoyed it for like the first month, and then I never played it again. I don't know, I just didn't really like it that much as well. So I was kind of a bit skeptical about this game. This is actually the first Call of Duty game. It's actually the first Call of Duty game I was going to get on release date. And it was the one I knew the least about heading into it. So I didn't know about the zombie mode, and I didn't know about, any of the stuff going into it. So I didn't know there was going to be like a zombie campaign and stuff, and I did know I was going to be playing with DSP, which is where I got a number of my subscribers from. So onto the game itself. So that's about 3 3/3 minutes of me just talking about the backstory behind this. So heading into Black Ops 2, I was a bit skeptical about it, and I was kind of wondering, am I going to like it or not? So I'm going to talk about the campaign first. The campaign, you play as Alex Mason, who's the antagonist or the protagonist from the first game. You play as his son, and it's a very interesting type of story. I didn't really expect it to turn out the way it did, because I thought since it was going to be futuristic, it was going to be always going to be set in the future. But it's actually set in like half future, half back in like around about the time whenever was it Russia, I believe, Russia invaded Afghanistan. And then it started like the Afghanistan war, or whatever, the Iraq war, or whatever. I don't really know. Even though those are recent, so I don't think that's what happened. Anyway, so I'm not really that fan, I'm not really that big in the history aspect of it. I didn't really pay much attention to the story. Well, I kind of did, but I mean, it's Call of Duty, so it's not as if the stories are really that like inept. It's not as if I'm like, oh, I have to know what the stories are going to be about. It's not really that necessary, to be honest. So the gameplay itself is just like any other Call of Duty game. It's, run and gun, some different gameplay. They have that new mode. I forget what it's called, which isn't very professional of me. But it's it's basically like what survival was in Modern Warfare 3, where it was you have to like fight off waves of enemies. Except in this game you have a bunch of futuristic tech to go with you. Like you have the AGR and you have like a sentry gun, I believe, and you can play as like several different troops. I really didn't like that mode, to be honest. I thought it really took away from the campaign. So. And also it was like some other stuff where you had to like complete them within a specific time. No, I didn't do any of them, to be honest. I really just did not enjoy it. So, like, that was one part of the campaign I didn't really like. The story itself was very interesting, to say the least. As you fight off Menendez, who is the bad guy. And I don't really know much about the story. Like, this isn't really much about the story. I'm gonna basically be talking a lot about the multiplayer and about the zombies in this element. Campaign just kind of thrown in there. It is pretty enjoyable, I would say. It's short as always. Like, I was able to beat it in one day. It has multiple choice. That's an interesting thing to throw in there. In the game, you have different options of doing missions, but it's not like. Some of the stuff like is actually story based, so it's like you can choose to kill this guy or save him. You can choose to spare this guy's life. You can choose to like, you get the drill. So you can do all that. Some of them are just like trivial things. Like, do you want to run through the city or do you want to stay behind and snipe? So it's like that kind of stuff. Like, it isn't really that important for the actual like story of the game, but it's a pretty fun little twist to throw in there. So I do quite like that as well. But all in all, campaign, don't expect something like, absolutely fantastic. But at the same time, if you're going into Call of Duty, you pretty much know that the campaign isn't going to be, the thing that's really going to engross you. So, some of the futuristic elements in it is actually pretty good. Like some of the stuff, like some that you can control like little spider things, and you have like different scopes and stuff. You have like different weapons, as always. So it being set in the future is pretty good. Like some people are in camo. It kind of reminded me of Halo, to be honest. Like with some of the people being camouflaged. But that's what I did. I did kind of enjoy all those elements within there. At the same time, it is set in the future, so you would expect stuff like that to happen. So I still think that it was executed pretty well in the campaign. So that's pretty much all I have to say for the campaign. Not that much to mention about it. Plot is just kind of same old, so you can't really talk that much about it. Now I'm gonna actually move on to the zombies first, because I feel I have a lot to say about the multiplayer in this game. So the zombies in this game are very different from what I thought it would be. Starting off with the transit mode. Transit mode, I did not expect it to turn out the way it was going to turn out, like what I had seen. I was expecting it to be like a full-on, oh, you survive this area and then you have to like make it out of this area, like actually a full-on campaign. Even though Zombies does have a story into it, like from all the 3 games, I was expecting a bit more of like a story-driven aspect to the Zombies gameplay. So I was expecting more like, oh, you gotta help. Actually, I did some research and I actually found out that like most of the story about it, so I do know about like what's it? Oh, good, I can't even remember his name. Richtofen, I believe. Richtofen. I love that song, by the way. Need a little revive. So you have him. He's now the new the new ruler of the zombies. He's now doing the voiceover and stuff. So I was expecting you to do a lot more with him, but you don't really do anything, to be honest. You do the Easter egg, which is I still haven't done the Easter egg, but like all my friends have, so it'll be my time soon. I almost did it though. But in the Easter egg for transit mode, like actually, like they say, oh, we're gonna handle it from here. Some of like the voices. So I'm guessing that's implying there's gonna be DLC coming into this game. So it's gonna be, like that's always has been what happened with every like DLC pack, every map pack. You get 1 extra zombie map. I'm not sure how it's gonna run this game. Where they're gonna get a whole new transit mode map, which I think would be really cool if you could do that. But we'll see how it goes. It is, Call of Duty, so I wouldn't get my hopes up too much, to be honest. So transit mode, going into it, I was playing it with Phil, Chris, and Nestor, and so we got the full 4-player like experience for it. But the thing is, for me it kind of felt like an extended version of survival, and I mean that isn't a bad thing, but I was kind of expecting, like, you know, like I was saying before, a little bit more story into it, a little bit a little bit more like driven aspects to it. It just kind of seemed like, oh, what's the point of us doing all this? You know, they actually had to get the game to explain to us why are we doing all this, and even if it doesn't really explain it that much, like, it's just kind of like, here you go, throw it in there. To me, it just kind of felt more. It's not like a zombie campaign. It's definitely not a zombie campaign. It's more of like an extended mode for it. Like, it's its own separate game mode. So it's like grieving mode, survival mode, and transit mode, which is basically like survival 2.0. So like, don't expect, you know, a full-blown campaign in this, because you're not gonna get it, unfortunately. So we have that element taken away from it, but hopefully, you know, the maps are not going to disappoint. In the transit mode itself, you go from place to place using a bus driven by a robot bus driver, and there's some little funny stuff tweaked into it, like about regarding how you can build stuff now. You can build like the fans, and you can build like zombie shields, and you have to turn on the power, and there's a whole new like boss monster. So all that stuff's really creative in it. Like those are pretty nice changes to it. But at the same time, I feel like those are stuff that could have been added into just regular survival anyway. So don't feel they're like exclusive to transit. Obviously, the main thing that's exclusive to transit is actually the transportation to other areas, which I do think is a pretty neat feature. Not a zombie campaign, but it's a very nice like feature that they added to it. So the license went off. So I do think that's very good how they did that. I was wondering how they were going to get like the transportation type thing. As you've seen the trailer for it and seen the bus and everything, and I was a bit confused. But it turned out that they're able to work around it. There's a lot of lava in this game as well, just FYI. So you're not going to like the lava. And I do like the little denizens of the forest, or gremlins I like to call them. Like how they're able to stop you from just running from place to place. Like that's a pretty creative way of like solving that problem. So you've introduced like a whole new kind of zombie type thing. Even though it isn't really like a formidable foe, it still is like a good way to get rid of that little technique. So all that stuff, it still is really good fun. If you have 3 other people to do it, 3 like friends of yours, really good fun. You know, trying to do the Easter egg. It seems like that's the main story of it. Like the story is do the Easter egg, but the game just doesn't tell you that. So I would have probably liked it if they had a few more Easter eggs, like if they had a few more like objectives to do. Like that's what I think would have been like a really good way of using transit mode. Like, here's some objectives for you to do, now go do them. I think that would have been a really creative way to like add in the mix rather than just doing one thing and that's it. Even though there are 2 ways to do it, or at least 2 as of this video. Like they may have discovered a few more once this video is done. But I mean, it would have been so much better if they would have added like a lot more stuff into it, but that's just my opinion anyway. So that's the transit mode, I would say. There's interesting ways of getting the Pack-a-Punch and everything as well. You also have basic survival mode, which is what I'm doing here. Unfortunately, survival mode only takes place in 3 of the 5 maps, I believe, are in transit mode. In transit mode, there's bus depot in order. There's bus depot, motel, farm, power station, town, and I think that's it. So those are the 5 areas, or 6, I don't know. I think it's 5. And you can only do survival in bus depot, town, like what I'm doing here, and farm. I'm not too sure why they did that, to be honest. It seems a bit of an odd move for me. Like why would you add like it just for those areas? I don't know. Like why not just do it for the other 2 areas? Maybe there's a different reason for it, I don't know. Maybe the maps just aren't suited for it. At the same time, I don't think bus depots really suited for survival, but that's just me. Like some people do really like the way that map's laid out and stuff, and how there's no like Pack-a-Punch or anything, or no perks. But for me, I like just, you know, being all like, this is why this is my favourite survival map, because you have everything in it, so you can go for really long runs. Obviously, we have 29 isn't really that good, but I mean for me, it's just starting off. I think it is a pretty good target. Like obviously, I'm no professional in this game, so I'm not like aiming really high in this game. So survival mode is just basically what you would expect from it, and I do think that it is really fun. Survival, it hasn't changed. I haven't done it that much in 4-player. Have I even done at all 4-player? I don't even know. But still very fun. Classic zombie survival gameplay. You know, don't expect anything innovative. It's just basically the same thing. You have a few new perks. They got rid of Mule Kick. From what Chris has told me, they've removed Mule Kick and they've added Tombstone, which is you can pick up all your perks once you get incapacitated. Once you get back up, you can pick up all your perks. Or I'm not really too sure how it works, but that's because we've had some weird difficulties with it, that's for sure. So, you know, don't expect anything like really innovative in the survival. It's just same old survival, but I mean that's why we love it. Just it's so simple and it works. And the grieving mode is the final mode. I was also expecting something a little bit different from this. In the original like description of it, they were mentioning how it was going to be like a team of, or at least rumors, I believe. I'm not too sure this is authentic or not, but apparently there's going to be like a team of 4. We're going to fight off against the zombies, and the other team had to grieve them. Hence the title. They had to like heckle them, where it was like the other team had to like they would like get rid of elements to it. They would get rid of perks, or they would like unlock it, or they would lock a door again, like all other weird stuff. So I was expecting stuff like that. However, it's 4v4 in the regular zombie map. So it's basically just regular survival, only there's another team in it. So it's an interesting twist. The only grieving in it is that, you know, you can just, whenever you pick up like insta kill or nuke or something like that, your team of 4 people gets it and not the other team. So I mean, you have that element to it. And then you can also knife people to stop them from getting people back up. But I mean, that's about it. Like, so I was a bit disappointed with the grieving mode. I do still like the 4v4 aspect, but I feel they could have done so much more with it, to be honest. Like, if they could have had 4v4, you could have made it like an 8-man survival, like complete hecticness, like made it like a party type thing, where it was like, if you had like a large group of friends, or if you were a big YouTube person and you wanted to get a load of people in one zombie match, you could do that and make the waves insanely hard. Or you could have had a full-on grieving mode where it was like, it's not obviously that you could like kill the other team, but I mean you could really heckle with them. Like you could like block doorways and stuff. You could like, I like the meat aspect in it. You can actually pick up some meat and you can throw it at the other team and all zombies will be attracted to you. Those elements are pretty good, but I do think I feel like they could have done a bit more, to be honest. Even if it was like like I did quite like the original grieving aspect. I was very confused by it, but I did like the fact of having 2 teams pit off against each other. Similar to what like Left 4 Dead did in their versus mode, only, you know, it's not like you don't have any special infected, but it would be more like just you're trying to harass them and you're trying to make sure they don't survive as long as you. So those are the 3 game modes for zombies. Zombies is still really fun, obviously. It's one of the main selling points for this game, if not the selling point for the game. Very fun, you're not going to be disappointed. You might be a bit underwhelmed by some of the modes, like, but that's only if you were into the build-up. If you didn't know any of the build-up, you were just heading straight into this game, you would think these are nice additions. So I think that's it for the zombies, and I think it's time to move on to the actual meat of the game. In any Call of Duty game, that's the multiplayer. Now, I've always been very fond of Call of Duty multiplayer. I will say that that's like the main element of it that I'm always into. Like Spec Ops / survival / zombies is all well and good. Campaign is just there, and it can be enjoyable at times. But I mean, multiplayer is the reason why everyone picks up Call of Duty, and why it's one of the most popular FPS genres of today. So, you know, it's very interesting what they did with the multiplayer. I guess I'll go over the pros and the cons for the multiplayer first off. I haven't really got like a list over, so actually I'll just go over some of the points when they come to my head. So you have like all these different modes that you can do in the multiplayer. So you have like, the usual team deathmatch, domination, kill confirmed makes a return, which I was pretty surprised about. You know, like capture the flag, search and destroy, all that stuff. You also have like the other ones that you have mosh pit, you have like hardcore modes, you have the party modes from Black Ops 1, like One in the Chamber, gun game, you know, sharpshooter, all those there ones. So you have all those different like modes in it, so you have a lot to choose from. You also have what do you call it? combat training, but it's not called combat training, it's just called local, I believe. Where it's just, you know, you and maybe a few other people against a whole load of bots. So that's Meter Return. I quite like that, where if I don't have internet connection on my Xbox, I can still play like multiplayer experience. And also you can't rank up in that game, all the guns are unlocked for you. So it's not as if you have to like rank up and stuff like what it was in Black Ops 1. They changed that, which I thought was really good. So they added that element to it for that. You also got Nuketown 2025 bonus map for pretty much every copy of the game. So if you pre-ordered it, I'm pretty sure some of them came with the game anyway, but since I pre-ordered it, I got Nuketown 2025. Pretty good map, I'll say. The maps in general are interesting. They take place in like different periods, so they can take place either in the same areas when the campaign took place. So it could take place either in 1980s or 2025. So it could take place in either one of those time zones, and each one has their own represented type like aspects of the time period. So like the futuristic ones have like they have like doors that open like really quickly. It looks all futuristic and metallic. So all those elements are in there. You have all the what would you say, like all the guns are, some of the guns you might recognize, some of the guns you might not. Like, so some of them are like have made a return, like the Scar H is returned, the FAL is returned. The MP7 I believe was in another Call of Duty game, maybe it was in Call of Duty Black Ops 1, I'm not too sure. But sorry, my throat's very raw at the moment. I don't even have a drink with me, so I'm just gonna rattle on. So you have all those games, all those games. You have all of those. Whoops, lights went back off. So you have all those guns in the game. Shotguns are really good. That's another element I want to talk about. Shotguns are really, really good. Like in terms of actual gun classes, people are saying that SMG is like the best gun class for this mode, or not for this mode, for this year's Call of Duty game, which I'd be inclined to agree with. I do think that is very true. Shotguns are very good as well. Sniper rifles are mediocre, I'd say, because you can't quickscope anymore. They eliminated quickscoping once again, and there's not even a perk that can, you know, there is like a faster aiming attachment, but you can't get it for sniper rifles, so tough luck for that. So you won't see any quick scoping montages anytime soon, unless some people being really old school and they're like doing it with a slow scope. But you have all that. Assault rifles are okay. They're pretty good. I stick with the assault rifles for the most part, but I've always stuck with assault rifles, to be honest. So you have all that. You have LMGs. You know, not many people use them that much. One thing I do want to talk about in terms of setting up a class, I'm probably going to go over the whole process. Those are pretty much the primary weapons. You also have an assault shield, but I mean that's the same as a riot shield, so it doesn't really that much to talk about. This is an interesting little twist. It's the first time the riot shields appeared in a game since Black Ops, or not, Modern Warfare 2. I don't think I appeared in Modern Warfare 3. It may have been, but you know, I do pardon if it did. I'm just being mistaken. The attachments in the game, they're very plentiful, but at the same time, they've always been what the heck? Do you see that? Some of the stuff like glitched. Can you see that on the screen? Like I'm running straight through it now. Those pillars just appeared. Look at that, now they're gone. That was really weird. Anyway, so there's a lot of attachments in this game. They're very plentiful. There's a lot of stuff that you can pick up. One thing I do like to say, and I've been saying this to most of my friends whenever they've been playing the multiplayer, is that this seems like the very first one. I'll skip this part because I have this like repair a load of stuff, I believe. So the main thing that I've noticed is that in this game it seems like in most other Call of Duty games it seemed like your class determined the gun you had. This seems like the first Call of Duty in a very long time where the gun decides what classes you have. And by classes I mean like perks and attachments and stuff. So depending on what gun you have, it depends on what you're gonna have. The perks are very different in this game. The attachments are pretty much the good perks are now attachments. For example, sleight of hand is an attachment. It's now the fast mag. Quick draw is now an attachment. It's the I don't know what you call it, but it's like a different type of scope. You have two new scopes in the game. You have the target finder and the MMS sight. I believe that's what they're called. The target finder is flipping broken. I'll say that right now, because it actually lights up the enemy team in red. like in red like rhombuses. Well, maybe not rhombuses, but like squares, like kites type thing, like shaped up like a kite. So they're very well located on your crossfire. So it's very easy to pick them off, especially from long distances when you're not sure if they're there. It's a very good sight. I'm a bit worried in case it's a bit, you know, broken at all. I don't think it's that bad because you don't see that many people using it, but it is pretty crazy. The MMS sight, you can see through walls, but for a very short distance, it's not very visible. Originally, I was pretty worried that there was going to be a scoping that lets you see through walls. I was kind of worried, oh boy, it's going to be broken, but it actually isn't. It isn't too bad. So I'm kind of pleased with the fact that they toned that down a little bit, and it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Like, I was expecting like a thermal sight that you could just see through walls, and you could like, it's really quick to see through. So yeah, and the perks in the game are like pretty trivial. They're kind of like, you pretty much got one for like the what do you call it? Like it makes you like more resistant to explosions. There's some where it's like faster sprinting. You know, you have all of their stuff going on. So it isn't really that, you know, significant. It's not as significant as what it was before. Like if you remember back in the days like Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops, where it was like sleight of hand, scavenger's back as well as a perk. Sleight of hand, scavenger, cold blooded. You know, those were all the perks that everyone had. Like every single person had those perks. It seems in this game there's a lot less of that happening because all the perks seem a little bit more minimal. So it's like, so it seems like they're much more just used as little like assistant tools. They're not used to like drive the rest of your like guns and stuff and kill streaks. So you have all that stuff going on, and you have the bling attachment, or you know, able to equip 2 attachments. That's standard in this game. You can already set 2 attachments. I quite like that. So you don't actually have to have a perk. So now every single gun's like very different in the way that they run. So it's very rare to see the same gun twice. It seems they have replaced the same old like have a gun, have a secondary gun, have an attachment for both of them, have 3 perks, have a lethal, have a equipment, and you know, that's about it. It seems in this game there's now been based on like the amount of stuff you can have, which I think is a really creative idea. Like I actually really like that aspect. So it can get a little bit dumb in some cases, or at least from what I've seen of it. But I still think it seems like a really good idea that they've included in this. So you have, basically what I'm talking about is that you can have maybe like 2, there's stuff called wildcards in the multiplayer, and that's whenever you can like pick an additional, like the little bonus things that you can have, but you must sacrifice one of the elements that you already have. So for example, you already have, to start off, you have 1 assault rifle, 1 secondary, or no, 1 primary weapon, 1 secondary weapon, 3 perks, 1 lethal, and 2 equipment, or whatever the heck they're called, I'm not too sure. But you have those standard. You're allowed 1 more attachment on either the primary weapon or the secondary weapon, but most people will go with the primary weapon, you know, for obvious reasons. So, however, you can remove, say, an attachment on your secondary weapon for, I don't know, for another attachment on your primary weapon by using the wild card. Or you can have another perk, or you can have another lethal, or another concussion. No, not concussion, another equipment. You can have a secondary, you can have another primary weapon as your secondary weapon. So you have all these stuff making a return, which I think is really cool, at the expense of losing something. For example, whenever I first started playing the game, I had the MTAR and a pistol, and I had the target finder because you know, I just love being cheap. The target finder and the quick mag, the fast mag, whatever the heck it's called. I had 3 perks I can't remember at the moment, and I had a Semtex, but I had no concussion, and in exchange for that I was able to get another blue perk, or another first perk. So I was able to, so the expense of that is I didn't even throw that many equipment at the time, so I was using like concussion grenades and I hardly ever threw them. So I felt, well, there's no point in me using them, so I figured I might as well get rid of them and add something a bit more useful. So I do like that element of it, so you can really customize now. However, I was thinking it might get a bit dumb if you had like a few people running around with like, you know, well, we were kind of joking around. If you had like 3 wild cards and they're all like getting extra equipment, have no guns, like get rid of your primary weapon and your secondary weapon, and just run around with like 1 frag grenade and like 5 like concussion grenades. We were kind of joking around about just how funny that would be, but and like no one's really that dumb to do it. I don't even think you can do it, to be honest. So I do think that that's an interesting element of the 3 I really do like it. Another element that I really do like it, like in the game, in the multiplayer, is the score streak function, and how it's no longer ran through either kills or blocks. And in previous Call of Duty games, it was ran by kills. In Modern Warfare 3, they changed it to blocks, so you didn't necessarily have to kill people to get the kills. And yeah, there's my first down in the whole game. So you didn't actually have to get kills for to get your kill streak. Now if you like captured an objective and domination, you get a kill streak. So you get like a kill streak block, and each kill streak had a certain number of blocks that you had to get. For example, a UAV was 3 blocks, Predator missile was 5 blocks, you know, etc, etc. In this game they changed it to points, and quite frankly I'm surprised they didn't do it sooner, because points is a very good alternative, because now you can have stuff, you can like compensate for maybe, if you have a UAV it kind of helps now. Not only do you get to like see, you know, your enemies in the minimap, but you also get assists. For every time someone in your team gets a kill, you get something called a UAV assist, which is worth 10 points. And it's very small, it's very minimum, like it's not really that, you know, like significant. However, it does add up. Like say if your team gets 10 kills while your UAV's up, you already got 100 points that you wouldn't have had before. So elements like that are really good in the game. So like anything you do can really help out. So an assist is worth points, capturing an objective is worth points, getting kills is worth points. You know, like blinding someone with a concussion is worth points. You know, helping out in any kill streak gives you points for just having it. So elements like that I think are really good in the game. So now everything helps out, so now it actually feels good to have something like a UAV. Not only does it help your team in finding the enemy's location, but you also get extra points and you can actually get more kill streaks. In terms of the kill streaks themselves, I might as well skip this place once again. I think oh no I don't. So I'm going to speed up a little bit, you know, about halfway through the footage and I only have like 15 minutes left. I still have a few more things to talk about in regards to the multiplayer. This review is very long, by the way, as you can probably tell. So, the score streaks themselves, you have stuff, obviously stuff like UAVs made a return, the equivalent of the chopper gunners made its return, the equivalent of Predator missiles made its return, the dogs are back, but they have a load of new elements in it, like the care package is back, the counter UAV's back. But since it's set in the future, a lot of the stuff in it is quite futuristic-esque type stuff. So some of the ones I can think of from the top of my head include like the Dragonfire, which is like a portable, like a little flying machine that you can shoot rockets from. You can't shoot rockets from it, but you can shoot like a machine gun rounds into your opponents. So you can do that and you can like fly about. The RCXD car makes its return as well, the very famous RCXD car from Black Ops 1. It's returned. You have the AGR, which is a pretty big mobile, like gunning device, which is that it also shoots machine gun rounds but also can fire rockets. You throw it down and it gets deployed and it can create, and then it just travels around the map. You have the opportunity to control it, by the way. Same with sentry guns as well. Like, you can actually control the sentry gun now, which I think is really good. So like, it's a Modern Warfare 3, you had the sentry gun, they had a remote sentry gun. They kind of combined them together in some Frankenstein experiment. Now you can, there's a regular sentry gun, but now you can actually control it as well. The war machine's back. The death machine is also back, I believe. Death machine and war machine were in Black Ops 1 as well. You have the hunter killer drone as well, which is a new one where it's like a paper airplane. You throw it into the sky and it locks onto an enemy, and you get pretty much a guaranteed kill, if not more, if it catches a crowd of people. Just like small things like that are pretty good. You have like the advanced UAV type thing, which can be shot down, which I think is pretty good. I forget what it's called though. You can get like personal assist from a helicopter. Most of the stuff you've seen before, obviously, but some of the more futuristic stuff I think is very good. The dogs are back. The chopper gunner thing, you can actually change position in the chopper gunner while you're in it. So it's not like you can move it, because like in Modern Warfare 3 you can move the chopper gunner to where you please. In this one, the chopper gunner which you can move, you can like, I think it's LB, you press LB and it changes positions, but like it moves to a different locale. I think that's pretty good, because obviously in games like in Modern Warfare 2, for example, like the chopper gunner just kind of moved as it pleased. So it was sometimes it was very obscure to like control and get kills with. At least in this game, it's not as if you have complete control of it anymore, but you actually have like, you can tell it where to go, so you can get more kills. You can like try and find the other enemy team, but they're not spawning in that area anymore. I'm trying to think of what other new elements there is. The equivalent of the Predator missile is a bit different. It's called the Hellstorm missile, and basically it's like a cluster bomb effect where you can shoot it straight down, but then rather than one big missile coming down, it branches off into multiple different missiles. So rather than just having the, straight down, you can now catch like a bigger range of people if you want, if you shoot it right. For example, in one of the matches that I was playing earlier today, I was able to get a triple kill from just looking at one person. I was able to let it branch out at the right moment, and then I was able to catch two people that were running right by it. So stuff like that is really good. And what other stuff was there? I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember now. But I mean, that's the majority of the score streaks now. They're not too hard to acquire, most of the score streaks. UAVs are very plentiful nowadays, but that's why it really helps to have the Stinger equivalent, where you could shoot down all the aircraft, really easily. So that's why it really helps to have that. And I'm pretty sure, once again, hold on, I'll skip all this because I'm like picking off all the enemies here. So, I'm just trying to catch my breath while I'm doing this. Alright, yeah, I've got about 10 minutes left, so... I remember I was still speeding over that. I actually mentioned, I talked about the maps, but I didn't talk about them in detail, so I might as well talk about it now. The maps themselves and how I think they are. I think that they're interesting. Some of the maps I like, some of the maps I dislike, just outright. For the most part, the maps are pretty good. Like, the layout of them is alright, I guess. Like, it's nothing too phenomenal about it. It's not like, wow, this map has really blown me away. Obviously, Nuketown's back, which has been a crowd favourite. So, Nuketown has always been a favourite. I actually haven't played many matches of it in proper multiplayer, to be honest. But some of the maps I like that come into mind. Hijacked, I like. Standoff is pretty good. What was one? It was in my mind there now, but I can't remember it. Carriers, Carrier. I don't really like Carrier that much. I'm trying to remember at the moment. Flip, there was one. I'm trying to remember now. Oh dearie me. Oh well. But some of the maps are good. Some of the maps, like Carrier, I just mentioned, I'm not really a fan of that because it's very open. It is very, very open, where it's like a huge area, and like it's a really good sniping area, and I really like sniping that much. That's probably why I don't like it. But I guess like maybe in terms of the people I've been playing against, the prestiges go up to prestige 10 once again, goes up to level 55. I'm not sure what happens once you prestige. Like in Modern Warfare 3 you got those tokens where it was like you can either get another class, you can keep a gun for the whole duration of this prestige. So I'm not too sure how it works in this game, so I can't really comment much on that. There are a lot of people who are prestige. Oh, I forgot to mention emblem. Korean emblems returned as well, which I really liked. I remember previously I wasn't really a fan of them getting rid of it and from Modern Warfare 2 to Black Ops, but like I think it's because in Modern Warfare 2 you had the movable emblems, which I thought were really cool. Like, you know, the ones like the chopper gunner, and obviously the infamous nuke emblem, which like twirled around, which everyone loved and everyone fucking boosted for, but I acquired it, you know, properly. So I do like the fact, but since the ones in Modern Warfare 3 were pretty dull, I was like, no, I'm very happy that Korean emblems returned. And I actually got my emblem of a dog with a mustache. I'm not sure if I've showed you it before, but it's a very good emblem, I'll tell you that. Very good. It's very creative. In terms of how I'm doing in Call of Duty itself, I'm doing actually very good in Black Ops 2. I did very well in Black Ops 1 with my kill death ratio being about 3 point something. I think I left it about 3.2 perhaps whenever I treated it in the game. Modern Warfare 3 not so much, I was just under 2.0 in that game. Modern Warfare 2 I was about 1.4 I believe, but that's only because at the very beginning of me playing it, let me skip all this part. Because whenever I was playing Modern Warfare 2, it was the very first FPS I got on the Xbox, so I was pretty bad at it to begin with. I was like 0.6, but I was able to shoot it up to about I think it's about 1.6 now, last time I checked, I'm not too sure. But still, I think I did pretty good for that. So this game, I've been branching. Originally, I was about, after like the first weekend, I was around about 2.8. Now, unfortunately, I haven't been playing as well, and I'm about 2 point something. I was about 2 point, like I'm just at 2.0 at the moment. However, that could very well change. Like if I get put in 101 bad matches, I'll probably shoot down to like 1.8 or something. But I don't know. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But anyway, that's what was going on with my multiplayer at the moment. It's been going alright, I guess. So that's pretty much it for my review. In conclusion, campaign. It's gonna be campaign. You're gonna brush through it pretty quickly. It's nothing that you're gonna be really like memorable about. You're not really gonna go, wow, that was really innovative or anything. You know, it's just a default Call of Duty campaign with some multiple choices in it. Zombies, fun as usual. I quite like the new mode. I was a bit disappointed, but that's only because I was expecting a bit more. But I mean, you know, it is Call of Duty, so you can't really expect it that much. Oh boy. Oh no, I didn't get knocked down here. Wow. Survival's pretty good. Grieve is also pretty good. So I think the zombies are really good. Multiplayer, quite different. Elements of it I really do like. I will say what I don't like about the multiplayer, hit detection is horrid. It's very hard to get a double kill in that game because the chances of you hitting someone twice or hitting two people is pretty ridiculous, to be honest. So it is pretty weird, that mode. I'll say that. So I'm afraid I'm gonna have to skip through the majority of this. I am running out of time. So hold on. So you probably just seen all this before. Yeah. Because I have about 14 minutes to do in 3. So I probably should have sped across some of it. So unfortunately, I don't really like the hit detection of the game. That's one of the downfalls of it. I didn't really like the feel of the Black Ops 1 multiplayer. I thought it was quite easy. This one is kind of easy, but it's nowhere near as easy as I thought it would have been. So it is a bit harder, but I mean that's alright, I guess. Like it's always a positive. People have been complaining about lag, but I mean I haven't really been experiencing that much lag, to be honest. So that's not really a problem for me. So I don't really know why. Maybe it's my area. I don't know. So that's about it. I'll give the campaign out of 10. I'll give the campaign a 7, I guess. 6.5, 7-ish. It's not really very memorable. Like obviously you can get much better campaigns in the market nowadays. Zombies, I'll give a 9. Because zombies is fine. No, I'll give it 8.5 actually. I'll give it 8.5. I could have expected a bit more from it. I guess I'll pause a bit here because I want to talk about the zombie match and then I'll finish it up. I was expecting a bit more, but I mean it's still very, very fun. Multiplayer, I'll also give an 8.5. I think the multiplayer is very fun, at least for now. I'll give it maybe I'll actually give the multiplayer 9 perhaps. It's very fun. I'm having lots of fun with it. Hopefully this isn't just a phase. Like a Modern Warfare 3, I used to think the multiplayer is very good, but not much anymore. Here's hoping I actually do start to really enjoy the multiplayer and hopefully it lasts on me. The last Call of Duty game that did that to me was Modern Warfare 2. And that was a long time ago. So I've got to really speed this up because I've got like flipping a minute left. Alright. So overall I'll give Call of Duty Black Ops 2 a 8 out of... Yeah, I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10, I guess. A very fun Call of Duty. And this is the downfall of my waves, by the way. I've run out of ammo for all my stuff, and I can't get anything out of the mystery box, so I have to start using grenades, and I have to buy the MP5 from it, from the mystery box. So this is my downfall, unfortunately, because I've got no ammo for my RPD, no ammo for my alien blaster, so I have to just keep on running from building to building. You know, it's got to get the MP5, shoot him with that, you know, and then I get down here. I buy another, if you can believe, I buy another quick revive in that same round. Get it again, I get down again. I think I get hit by the fire and then I get hit by a zombie. I gotta really speed this up. Alright, so I get very greedy in this area. I'm like, oh, I can kill a few more zombies for you. No, maybe it's the next one. Yeah, hold on. It's not here. I run to the next building. I don't die here. Buy Juggernaut. I'm an idiot. Run over here, get very greedy in the corner, and I get overrun. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed my review, and I hope you enjoyed this gameplay, which just flipping froze up on me. Sorry for my raspy voice at the moment, but hope you enjoyed the wave / review, and I'll see you guys for more gameplay soon. So until then, I'll see you.